All right, what's going on, guys? So you can hear me right now. So thank God I tested this before I actually got started. Welcome back to my Empire Pro. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios, and and thank God that I checked the sound because I was basically talking to myself in that moment in time. But today we're diving right into chapter 4 of the brand new book that we have coming up, Digital Empire Guide. If you're brand new into this place, please make sure you go to Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, go to Digital Empire Guide. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter because we have tons of exclusive that we'll bring to you from time to time. With that being said, let's dive right in to market research. Okay, let's dive right into market research. This whole thing, the Digital Empire Guide, is about digital marketing, obviously, right? And we're in this digital age. We find ourselves in the middle of digital age, and then COVID pushed us even further inside because a lot of people were still in denial about doing business the old school way. Everyone just wanted to hug up on what they knew, right? And we're having the rude awakening that's just not where it's at. I've used Zoom for ages, right? But we're finding out that Zoom is the way of life right now. As a matter of fact, somebody was just about to sign up for real estate classes, and we're plugging them in on the training. And the only way they offer it now these days is by way of Zoom. So here in New Jersey, you would have to go. There was no online school. Some few years back, I was actually licensed as an agent, a real estate agent in New York State, and I did everything online. So New York was actually ahead of the curve at that time. But the whole New Jersey was basically behind the curve until recently, and they got pushed in, and you have to pay attention to digital marketing. Now, with regards to digital marketing, we've talked about the three M's. We talked about the marketing message, right? Then we talk about media. Then we talk about the market, which is the people, right? So where are these people hanging out? That's the whole point of this topic, market research. Like a lot of people get into any game and they just go at it and they just start throwing money all over the place, or worse, they start throwing time all over the place without paying attention to some details. There's a certain level of details you have to pay attention to make the most out of any endeavor, right? And there's also a place you get to that you overanalyze, and then you get what do you call it? You overanalyze and then you get paralyzed, right? So there's a sweet balance in between. That's what we're looking for, and that's what this particular topic brings to the table, called market research. We want to know the market. We want to get to know the person we're trying to sell to. We want to know what the avatar is. Who is this person that's the right fit for what we have to offer? So for example, if you're a wholesaler, right, who is the type of person that will be a right fit for your offer to purchase their property? I buy houses, me too, I buy houses, right? But are you just shooting that message at everyone, or there's a way that you can actually pinpoint and you can laser focus in on the right person? That's what we call market, right? So when you do it on a scale, in a skilled level, and you understand the details about the marketplace and the market segment where those people hang out, and that's the whole point of market research. You need to know what you're doing when it comes to market research. You need to do some research. You need to find out where they are hanging out because they are online. We know that they are online. We know that when I say online, I don't mean a laptop. See, back in the days, just a few years back, that would mean somebody's hanging out on a laptop. No, I mean on a phone device right now. They are right now on their phone device right now, and they're looking at their phone device as they are driving. I know it's dangerous, but they are, right? They're doing that, and they're not looking at the bandit signs. If they're at the stoplight, right? The last thing they're looking at is the bandit sign on the electric pole, right? On the power pole. What they're looking at is their phone. I know it's dangerous, sad, but it's the truth, right? So if they're on their phone, that's where their attention is. So where is the attention of your ideal customer? First of all, who is your ideal customer? Where is your ideal customer? And that's what the market research about. It's all about. There's a second part to this particular topic, and it's basically market analysis. Okay, so it's like market research and analysis. But today I wanted to spend some time on talking about research and the different things that goes into that. But first of all, why market research? Because you need to know your market. You need to know who they are, and you need to know where they're hanging out. You need to know who they follow. You need to know what their interests are. You need to know what language they speak, right? Because if you don't know these things, you will not be able to relate with them. Because if you remember, people do business with people they feel like they know, like, and trust. Keyword feel. Okay. So how would they feel like they know you, like you, and trust you if they don't know who you are in the first place? Well, the way that you're going to do that is to learn what they do, learn how they interact, learn the languages they speak, learn the gurus that they follow, right? Learn the platforms that they follow, learn the their needs, right? Learn there's a few things that you're going to learn some of the things that they may need. Do they need plumber? Are they right now following a plumber? What's the kind of person that follows a plumber in your localities, in your local real estate market, right? It's the same thing in every business. For every business, as long as there's a valuable product and service, some value that you bring to people, there's a type of people that is the right fit. We call them market in marketing, right? In digital marketing, especially, right? You need to know where they hang out, and you need to know how you can target them in a good way, meaning offer them what you have to offer. And if you don't know these things, your business will fail. Okay. Now, traditionally, you could just focus on circle of influence. You could put some bandit signs on the wall, or you could just keep throwing mud at the wall and hope that something sticks. But times have changed, and that's why I wanted to bring this topic to life so that we can both be talking about it. So, to be honest with you, digital marketing market research is the solution to that. You have to do a little bit of a research. There are a few ways to do market research. So that takes me to the digital marketing research methods that are available in this marketplace. Okay, in today's marketplace, there are ways to do these things. Okay, that's basically a cake. Okay, and there are ways to do it using the tools that are available to you. Right. The thing is about that you should learn about tools and automation and technology. I think I've said this before in this series, is that you and I don't get to decide that we don't want to use tools. Okay, you know why? Because we need competitive advantage. You and I, right? So you and I decide to partner together. We want to run a business, right? And we're just gonna be like stubborn about it and just be like, yeah, I don't care about that. I just want to do it the easy way. Okay, granted, you don't say easy way, but you may say things like, yeah, I'd rather just stay focused on the way that this guy said he did it. Let me just say something. When it comes to tools, you can decide you don't want to do digital, but when it comes to tools, okay, using tools to leverage your efforts, right? It's called leverage. When it comes to leverage, when it comes to leveraging technology, you and I, we don't have a choice, okay? Especially if you claim that you want to have a competitive advantage over your competition in the marketplace. Yes, competition is real. It's a good thing to have a mindset that competition is not a big deal, right? Because you're a winner. I get that, right? But it's better if you say that, knowing at the back of your mind that you have all the bases covered, right? It's just better. Okay. At least you know that you know what the hell you're talking about, as opposed to, oh, I'm just going to use my belief system and use that to magically win. That's not the way it works. Okay. That's not the way it works. So basically, there are two ways you can do digital marketing research. And we're gonna get into many of them. Okay. You can do manually. Okay. You can do completely manually, meaning you're just gonna go hang around on the internet and see what this guy follows. You can see who he's following. And there are ways actually you can do some searches. Like for example, on Instagram, you could search through hashtags. Okay, you could say, hey, who are the kind of people that are saying they want to sell a house? What's the type of person that's typing in hashtag sell my house fast? Is that a real thing? Do homeowners actually hang out on Instagram to say sell my house fast? Maybe not. You could start thinking about that and just trying to process it and using the guess game, right? Or you could say, no, I'm actually going to go find out, right? How do you find out? Well, it's hard if you're going to do it manually, right? So you have to use tools. There are tools out there that you can use to scan through hashtags, that you can use to scan through different Facebook interests based on housing. So you could start with the seed keyword. We call it keywords. You're going to learn more about that later. You could start with a seed keyword phrase, housing, sell my house, and you could literally go right now on Google and type in sell my house fast. and then you see the results that comes up, and then you see all the investors all over the place looking to pick up houses for cheap. And then you wonder, how come I'm struggling with my business? Because all the houses are being picked up on search engines. Okay, they're being picked up on search engines. Another thing you could do on social is that you could go to Zillow.com. Sorry, you go to the Zillow Facebook page, right? And you see what kind of discussions people are having on there, because you can see engagement of buyers, sellers, and stuff like that. And you can see if there's a way you can fit your value into that. Those are all the manual ways. So we're still using the digital platforms, but that's a very manual way to go about doing the research. Okay, there are better ways. Okay, and usually it comes with a tool that you pay a little bit of $20 or less, $30, $50. Anything less than $100 is actually a bargain, because again, it depends on what you sell. But if we're talking about real estate where you can make $25,000 per deal, then anything under $100 is really like a bargain, right? So, with that being said, I just want to let you know there are two ways to do it. You can do it the manual way, you can use the tools. What I like to do is I like to do a hybrid of both. Okay, that's what I like to do. I like to use a hybrid of both. I don't just depend on the tools in the machine. I sometimes I need to feel on it. I go on my phone, I go on Facebook, and I'll see what people are talking about. Or, for example, we buy ugly houses. They put their own ad up. I see the kind of people that are commenting on it. So there are times that I do that just to observation, which is one of the best ways that you can do market research. You're observing. You just don't want to depend on that, because again, anything manual consumes time, and the number one asset that you have as an entrepreneur is time, and you want to make sure you're allocating that resources properly in the right direction when it comes to your business. All right, so now for me personally, my personal digital marketing research methodology is I use a tool called Uber Suggest. Okay, it's called Uber Suggest. I don't know when you're reading this, I don't know if it will be existing. It doesn't really matter. What you need to understand is the concept. Okay, it's the concept of keyword market research. Okay, what is that exactly? It's a tool that allows me, I'm going to go into details of this later in a later chapter, by the way. It's a tool basically that allows me to research the keyword phrases that people are typing into the search engine. You see, there are two main channels when it comes to digital marketing. You have the search and you have the social, right? Social can also be categorized as interrupt marketing. Okay, search is basically there's an intent behind it. Somebody is searching because they have an intention to do something, and then you happen to pop up and serve them or give them some kind of value, right? So that's basically search. But social is someone who's just hanging out on Clubhouse, they're hanging out on Instagram, they're hanging out on Twitter, they're just looking at what President Donald Trump is saying, right? And then boom, your ad shows up. That's why it's called interrupt marketing, because they were being social, they were just socializing, and then boom, your ad shows up, right? So that's also course. So there's the search and there is social. I come from the school of thought of search, right? Search marketing, and I will put a lot of energy into that. But I do engage in social, and there's a way that it fits into each other. Okay, there's a way that it fits into each other. Let me see here. I just want to make sure that okay, awesome. Okay, so there's a way that fits into each other, social and search. But as far as how people come into my world, I prefer that they come into my world by way of searching. Now, many people that watch my YouTube channel, that they come also because YouTube suggests my video for them, or they search for something, a keyword on YouTube or any search engine, and then boom, an article shows up, content shows up, right? So that's the methodology that I personally like to lead with. But I also use social as a hybrid together with again, I'm not really a believer in extreme anything. But there's a place that every strategy or every methodology fits into. For me personally, I like to use search to bring people into my world, and then I use social to continue to invite them back and say, hey, I got something else. Hey, you came by the other day. Hey, I got something else. And you probably have seen that in the form of my ads on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. And there's a method to the madness, and it's something that I use not just in real estate. I use it as a in our training company and stuff like that. So these are things that you can learn, that you can apply to whatever your business is, especially if you're a real estate wholesaler. This is the time to learn this, because no one is talking about it. The only people that are using this right now are people trying to sell courses and people trying to sell other things, or MLM or something like that. But There's no one that's talking about that. You know why? Because it's completely brand new, but it's only a matter of time. And then we're going to talk about how much time you have here in the second. But let me just keep it straight up with you. It's very, very simple. These things are very simple. It's about understanding. Remember, the whole point of market research is to understand your market, is to understand where they're coming from, is to understand what they're thinking, and is to understand the language that they use. Why? Why do you want to do this? Because you want to be able to serve them. You want them to be able to relate with you. Because if they can't relate with you, if they don't feel like they can know you, like you, and trust you, or like you know what you're talking about, honestly, it's the know, like, and trust them. That's it. Okay. People need to feel comfortable from an emotional standpoint 85% of the time before they do business with you. If you don't set that up that way, or literally orchestrate that way, your competition is doing that. Okay. So basically, you're setting yourself up for failure. And yes, competition is real, but the only way you can make them not real is to make sure that you have that competitive advantage over everybody. All right. So with that being said, digital marketing agency market research. What? How do you implement this in your business? Okay, that's really what I want to talk about right now. How can you implement all of this in your business? You can learn it how to do it yourself. Okay, that's one way. It's probably the most expensive way. Okay, yeah, because again, you're spending time as opposed to learning how to put money to work for your business, right? But I understand everyone starts from different places, and sometimes you have to start that way, right? So you can spend that time learning all the stuff. You can literally Google your way out to all this information and then compile everything. The only thing is going to take time, right? And then compile everything together and then try to execute or try to implement, right? You can do all of that. It's completely up to you. Or you can say, hey, let me invest money, right? So now the investing money and investing time, there is that and there is that, right? And there's everything in between, right? So you could do a hybrid or a weighted average of either of the two. You could say, "Hey, I'm going to invest a little bit of time, but I'm going to invest some money too." Or you could say, "You know what? No, I need someone else to. I need someone else to completely take care of this for me. I can't. I don't want to be bothered." Why? Because maybe you have that kind of money and you say, "No, I don't want to bother, but I know that I need to do this stuff, right? So I need to hire somebody else to do this, right?" So again, like I said, you can invest time in learning how to do this, and you can do it yourself. Okay, that's how I started. Okay, that's how I started. But the idea that if you think I'm just going to run two different companies and be doing this by myself all day long, that's not realistic, right? But that's how I started, and that's what carried me for a while before I could afford to bring other people on board. Now, speaking of bringing other people on board, how can you do that in a way that makes sense? Okay, how can you bring other people on board and be able to sustain it? Because if you can't sustain it, if you can't afford to keep doing it, you're probably going to fail. Okay, so this is something that you have to pay attention to, and the way you do that is you can hire an agency. Okay, and there are companies that will do all of this stuff. Not only will they do the market research for you, okay, they can also do all the execution. But remember, everything starts with the market research. Like the things you think you know about your marketplace and the people that are your ideal customers are probably wrong. Why? Because every market evolves. So you need to know what is going on with them, what the changes are, what the new tools are, what the new gadgets are, what are their new interests, right? And the only way you're going to find those things is market research. One example of a place where we do market research is Google Trends. You go to Google Trend right now, you type in a little seed keyword phrase. So let's say, for example, you sell plumbing, right? Type in plumbing and see what people are searching for, right? They will spit out a bunch of ideas for you, that trending topics, trending things that people are searching for, and then you can find a way to integrate that into your business so you can bring more business on board. You can bring business on board as form of you servicing them, or you can do a referral to other people in your same industry. But the ideas never end when you start using all of these different tools. I just gave you one right there, Google Trends. Okay, literally just Google it, and then it comes right up, and you can practice with it and play with it and see what comes up. So for you as a real estate wholesaler, you could literally type in "I buy houses" on Google Trends and see what comes up, and that will start giving you insights of what people are literally searching in the search engine streets, right? That way you can see how you can integrate your business and see how you can come up with ideas that you can wrap your mind around, because I don't know where you are in this game of digital marketing, right? But there's something there, trust me, that you can wrap your mind around and how you can leverage it for what you have to offer the marketplace. Because remember, the money you make is directly proportionate, okay, proportional to the amount of value you put out into the marketplace. That's the way it works. Okay. So just wanted to share that really, really quickly with you. So you can hire companies, you can hire agencies. Also, you can bring on board a market research analyst. They call them digital marketing market research analyst. Okay, that's a person that's basically you hire them, you pay them $100,000 per year. Okay, yeah, and they all they do is sit down there and do more research about where your customers or potential customers are hanging out online, and then looking for ways to attract them back to you. But if you don't know who they are and where they're hanging out, how can you attract them? Right? So you see companies paying big, big money, six figures for these positions when you learn this simple skill set. So you want to make sure you want to make sure that you get to the chapter where I talk about market analysis, because that's essentially what they do. They market, they research market, they analyze numbers, they know how many people are clicking, they have an idea of how many people are actually hitting the pages and where they're coming from. Because if they don't do that, the competition will find out how to do it, and then basically they're out of business. Or God forbid, COVID-19 news trends will come up. God forbid. Okay, we don't want that. But the point is that tomorrow is not promised for anybody, so you want to make sure that you get those things right. And speaking of getting it right, competition is coming behind you. Learn this stuff. Okay, it's very simple. You can invest time or you can invest money to learn how to do research. I give you the tool that I use. It's called Uber Suggest. It's like $30 a month or something like that, and I get to see what all my competitions are up to. I get to see everything that they are ranking for. I get to see where all their customers are coming from, and I get to go there and compete with them. Okay, and I get to see how much they're competing, and then I get to see if I need to add more effort to outcompete them. Is beautiful. Basically, with what I'm sharing with you right now, for any one of my online properties, which I have a few of them, at least I'm bringing in 1,000 highly targeted new person to serve into my business every month. Okay, so I don't know what your business is. So imagine if you could bring in 1,000 persons to your website every month. If you converted only 5% of that into sales, whatever that means in your business, what would that mean for you? What would that mean for you? So, but again, it all starts with market research. We're on chapter 4 right now, so we're just getting started. It starts with market research. You need to know who your market is. You need to know where they're hanging out. You need to know what their interests are. You need to know what language they speak. You need to know all the lingos they speak. And if you can figure that out, you're just that close to attracting them, because you know what you can now give them to attract them, so you can help them get more of what they want, which is probably more results, right? So you know what you do. I don't know if you're a wholesaler. I don't know if you are a course seller. I don't know. Whatever it is that you do, it doesn't matter. Your ideal customers are hanging out right now as we're speaking online. We call it the phone. Basically, it's a phone that's connected to the internet. That's all, right? So just keep that in mind as we're going through all of this. As we're going through this session, this is going to be a very important thing that we will always point back to. Did you do your market research? If you tell me like, hey, I did this, I tried this, do work, I said, what did you come up with in the market research? What is the market doing? Oh yeah, I've done a market research like 5 years ago, but no. Market research is an ongoing thing. Okay, there's new keywords, there's new products in the marketplace. One time they're doing widgets, the second time they're now doing something else, right? And you never know what that is unless you stay plugged in on research. And like I said, it's okay to just get started by investing personal time. At some point, you want to be able to invest money because your time is not worth you giving away because your business is doing that well. Either way, if what you have to do is hire a market research analyst to handle this in your office and you're paying them six figures, I guarantee you it's worth it all day long. Because again, remember, your ideal customers or ideal potential customers, you bring in 1,000 into your website every month. What would that mean for you? What if there's no cap on the 1,000? What if that was 10,000? What if that was 100,000 people coming to your website every month, and you know that you attracted them because you said something about something they're interested in right now because of the level of intent that comes with search marketing, but also reverse engineering intent when you know that this is their interest, even from a social digital marketing channel. That's something that we're going to be talking about heavily as time goes on. So, with that being said, on the next chapter, we're going to be talking about lead magnets. Okay, so you know where they're hanging out right now. How can you bring them into your world, right? That's something that we will be talking about heavily on the next chapter. So the next chapter here we'll be covering that momentarily. Just if you want to get notified when the video is up or when I'm live or anything like that, just make sure you subscribe to the channels. Make sure you're following the pages. Make sure you go subscribe to the newsletter. You see all the posts over there. Just go to any one of those websites and make sure you're plugged in on it. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.